In this week's episode, we are talking about the scary, perhaps the supernatural, perhaps fanging and banging.
It's Gangrel, the Vampire Warrior. Hello and welcome to Gimme a Hole. Yeah, our podcast. I hope everyone in Yorkshire and beyond is having an awesome day. Keep fanging and banging.
Hello and a very warm welcome to the Gimme a Hole Yeah Wrestling Podcast. My name is Anne and today I'm joined by... Who am I joined by?
Yeah, that was I didn't realize what you were doing. I was like, why did you say that? And then of course Gangrel happened. That was like the best segue I've seen in ages. I'm Dom, by the way. Hello everyone. Hi.
Hey Dom, thanks so much for joining us. It is that time again. It is Dom versus Anne, where we look at an element of wrestling and we have two opposing views on it. And you guys get to have your voice heard and write down in the votes below and decide who wins. Last week, Dom. Let's talk about last week. Last week.
Look, in the vote, actually, no, in the vote you won, and also
I won.
Yeah, you did actually win that. I can't say that in the vote that I put up in the community tab I won because I didn't actually win. It was closer though.
Yeah, but the vote in the community poll wasn't us arguing.
We need to have both. You know.
No, we don't do that. No. The independent adjudicator said you was cheating the last 2 weeks, who's
the independent adjudicator?
It was someone from an external company. I paid to come and investigate what was going on. Mate, it was a whole investigation. Like Vince McMahon had an investigation.
Stop being a dick, right? Listen. You won that one. I'm still 2-1 up. So
you are 2-1 up. You are 2-1 up. Let's just talk about last week's episode because I appreciate. We value you to write your comments. We don't care who wins and loses. We want to hear you. We want to hear you talk. We've had George who wrote a wonderful comment last week. He said, "All right, I've got to give this one to out. No, Dan Cody's a great wrestler, but he's had 3 matches and everybody knew he was rimming the Rumble as soon as he was announced." Honestly, you could have told, and in some cases, are telling a better story with Sammy and Rowley, especially if there's a Montreal screw job too. Sorry for the essay. You do not apologize for the essay, George. I loved reading that comment, Dom.
Yeah, man. There's good. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate the engagement. Thank you so much for your comments. Even though you guys. I mean, I should have won. I mean, I've won the last 2 weeks. And
to confirm, all I did is call them idiots if they voted for you, and they all voted for me. So once again, this week, if you write down "vote Anne" at the start of your message,
I mean, no, vote for what you want. Vote for what you believe in your heart. Don't just vote for Anthony because he tells you to vote for him. Like, I didn't influence the fan base. I didn't influence the Hulkamaniacs.
I've told people to go and vote.
I wasn't talking about it on the stream. When we were doing SmackDowns or whatever, I was just.
Oh, you should advertise. You should advertise, Dom. Definitely.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I didn't do that, and I'm not going to have. I
didn't say don't vote for me. I didn't say vote for me. Anyway, let's move on with this week's video, Dom, because today is very exciting. We are talking about Spoopy Doopy, the Scary. It's really interesting, man. We did a cracking podcast earlier last week about Bray Wyatt and about his influence, and this week we're talking about the scariest wrestler of all time. What is scary?
Well, I mean, it's like psychological, right?
I don't know.
Is it psychological? Is it eating worms? Is it the boogeyman?
Ooh,
could be, but that's not what I'm picking. It's not what I'm picking.
You're not picking the boogeyman?
I'm not picking the boogeyman, no.
I thought you was going to pick the boogeyman.
I wanted to pick the boogeyman.
Okay. I don't know who you're picking then. Let's do rock, paper, scissors and get this underway. You ready?
Yes. Ready? 3,
1. Oh, go on then. You count down.
3, 2, 1.
Yeah, I got rock. No, you don't change it. No, because you said 3 to 1, and then you started doing this. And I'm thinking, why is he calling me a masturbator?
You do it this time.
Right, 3, 2, 1. Just reveal. Rock and roll. I'm going second. Dom, enjoy yourself. You've got 2 minutes on the timer, and your time starts now.
Okay, Bray Wyatt, right? He's based on a character from a horror movie, Cape Fear. He is a psychological genius, right? He's the kind of guy you don't know what he's going to do next. Obviously, his more recent gimmick when he's been coming back with Uncle Howdy. You never know when Uncle Howdy's going to come out. You never know what he's going to do. He attacked a cameraman the other week on SmackDown. But not only that, he's had a history of spooky characters, dark characters. Look at The Fiend, man. The Fiend would hit you with a mandible claw out of nowhere. The Fiend was a freaking monster from a monster movie, for God's sake. And before that, you had this character based on Max Cady from Cape Fear, who's this sort of swamp leader, cult leader. He's a cult leader, and again, he can manipulate you. He can manipulate you as that character. He can manipulate you as his most recent incarnation. He can mess with your mind, man. But then if he was the Fiend, he would just destroy you. He would destroy you. You couldn't beat him. He'd just keep coming. Like Jason or Freddy, he is the embodiment of a horror movie character made real in a wrestling context. And whatever you think about a pitch black match, whatever you think about any other matches, a swamp match or a red light match, it's all geared towards being a horror movie character. He is a horror movie character. He's better suited, arguably, to a movie than he is a wrestling ring. It's an arguable point, or a comic book, something like that. But he is the most scary character. You can say the Boogeyman because he eats worms. You could say Cactus Jack because he bled everywhere. But psychologically, a little bit creepily, you never know what's happening in Bray Wyatt's mind. You never know who he's going to come for. You never know what he's going to say. Like I said, 1 minute he can be giving a heartfelt promo in his most recent incarnation. The next minute he could be attacking a cameraman, right? He could be sitting and rocking in his chair as a swamp leader, and then he can hit you with Sister Abigail. He could even become Sister Abigail. We've seen that. He has many faces. He has more faces than Mick Foley, and they will all creep you out. They will all mess with your mind. You never know if he's your friend or your foe, and that makes him scary, man. He's unpredictable. He is dark, and yeah, very, very, very scary. And it's only just begun.
Could have picked anyone. You went with Bray.
I did.
Spoopy doopy. You're confident. You think that Gimme a Hole Maniacs are gonna vote for you in chat based on the fact that you said Ray Bryant.
In terms of a scary wrestler that mess with you, he's scarier than the Boogeyman. He's scarier than Cactus Jack. Scarier than the Butcher. Scared of people that bleed everywhere. He's scarier than people that bleed everywhere because this guy, he gets in your head. He can lead you into a cult, man. He can lead you into battle. He can lead you to bleed because he wants you to. He could make you want to bleed for him, man. And that's frightening. He could make me want to bleed for him. And that's frightening. We're of sound mind. That's the idea. That's the very essence. Right? Cactus Jack bleeds because he wants to bleed. Bill the Butcher bleeds because he wants to bleed. But Bray Wyatt can make you want to bleed even if you don't want to bleed. The Boogeyman, he has to eat worms to be scary. But Bray Wyatt, he can pretend to be your friend. He can pretend to be.
Will you stop going on? You've had your 2 minutes. Like, that's enough. Yes, very good.
And it messes with you, dude. You just don't know. Whenever you have the answers, he changes the questions. You know.
Shut up. Rubbish. Right then, let me put the time back on the clock, which means rewind the video. I think we need to start on your time as well.
The community.
What are you doing? The community will speak. Go away. Crush him. Sorry about that, guys. Dom just entered the stream again. Let's talk about scary wrestlers, shall we? I remember as a young kid, right, watching wrestling, and there was one guy who really freaked me out. And it wasn't your Papa Shango, and it wasn't your Mick Foley, who had this sort of real good character base. It was someone whose physical look was scary. In fact, there was two people. There was him and Bruiser Brody as well, who I nearly picked for this video, actually. Bruiser Brody, I think, was terrifying. Especially, can you imagine if he was in the audience when he was swinging them chains around? But the person I want to talk a little bit about the person who scared me as a kid, was Abdullah the Butcher. Physically, he's this empowering man, this huge man with eyes that would bulge out all the time. This is a person who lived his gimmick, who would go into the airport and scare people on the plane by just looking at them and bulging out his eyes, because that's part of what he could do. And then that's not even going into what he had on his forehead, which was years of scarring from deep blading and cuts. And this guy looked scary. This is the type of thing that scares me. Not gimmicks like Bray Wyatt or the Boogeyman eating a mole off someone's face. No, that doesn't lead to me being scared. What really scares me is a guy who puts everything into it in his life, not just storyline wise, but physically. Abdullah the Butcher is one of the scariest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. If you was to show a picture, if you was to show someone the Halloween Havoc match, the Chamber of Horrors match, and watch this big guy being electrocuted in his chair, rolling around with his eyes popping out, blood coming out of the scars on his forehead, you would be terrified. If you showed them a Bray Wyatt promo, they'd be like, what is this garbage?
Your argument is that he has eyes.
No, it's more than that. I mean, that is part of the. He does have eyes. That is part of the argument.
Your argument is that Abdullah the Butcher has eyes.
He did used to scare me.
He did used to scare you, did he? Right, okay.
He's a menace, man. He's
he is. Yeah, he's scary.
Presence.
But I mean, we could have said New Jack. New Jack's the scary. New Jack.
Do you think New Jack's scarier than Abdullah the Butcher?
Oh, 100%, man. New Jack's way scarier than Abdullah the Butcher. Yeah,
and then you go into what is fear, don't you? You go into what is fear, this silly funhouse character, or with a sort of story, or do you go for the?
The problem is Abdullah Butcher couldn't portray his character in a movie and freak you out. You could.
Yes, he could. Yes, he could.
You could ask Bray Wyatt to portray the Fiend in a movie context, and it would creep millions.
You could ask Abdullah the Butcher could freak people out in real life. He just had to be there. He didn't have to work to freak people out or scare people. That's the thing that Bray Wyatt has to do, and he doesn't always succeed. A lot of the time, we're laughing at him and how rubbish his matches are. Dom, I feel like we've taught Bray Wyatt so much. I'm Bray burnt out.
Look, man, the community will speak. The community knows. If you talk about popular culture and you're talking about a character and a gimmick that can transcend not only in a wrestling ring but movies, comic books, everything, and scare people and have you could make some really dark, really sinister stuff with the Bray Wyatt character. Yes, you're right. Abdullah the Butcher was a scary dude in real life, but in real life, IRL. Man, Bray Wyatt could be working us all. He's the kind of guy that makes people believe he's a good person. But man, he could be.
That's what scares me. I mean, look, dude, we could have talked about the complete opposite as a gimmick. We could have talked about Doink the Clown Man and how scary he was.
That's a great shout. I feel like this is a wider conversation. Really,
it's what is fear, because you've chosen something that you think fears an audience and is presented in a way, and I've chosen someone who presents fear by keeping it real. So really interesting debate, Dom. I don't care who wins. What I care about is people commenting down below and just writing whether they vote for Ant or vote for Dom. I'm Ant.
And I'm Dom. Vote away.
And if you don't vote for Ant, you are excluded from the podcast from now on.
You're not excluded from the podcast at all. But no, you are welcome all the time.
You absolutely are.
We will let you in, so to speak.
Oh, very good. And on that note, I've got a few people to thank. I want to thank all the Holomaniacs who donate to our streams. These are members of the channel. You can check out the member section down below for what perks you get. We have the Holomaniacs here with Pro Wrestling Eve, Dex Baker, and Mark, LFC UK. Thank you so much for your support. We have the Hardcore Holomaniacs, the scariest of them all. Well, there's no one in there. We don't have anyone scary in our chat yet. But if you want to be the first scary one, you absolutely can be. And then we've got, of course, our champion, Sassy, who donates, helps keep this podcast alive, Dom. Pay for our stream yards. We've just upgraded. So thank you all so much.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it. We love you. We're very, very grateful for you. And you are welcome. You are our friends. So and our friendship will never ever end. There we go. I was like, that's what I was trying to get.
Let's sing it. I like it. Where? Thanks, guys. Vote in the comments down below. We don't care who you vote for. We just want you to vote. We're really glad that you're our friends. And this is a friendship that'll never, ever end. You really, like, undersold me on that. I was hoping you'd sing with me for the outro.
I was gonna, but I just wanted to let you do it because it was great. I enjoyed you doing it.
Make me look the fool. Make me look the
fool.
fool.
You don't look the fool. You sounded okay. It sounded good.
Votes go against you for that. I'd vote against you for that. That's nasty.
I wouldn't vote against me.
I wouldn't vote against me. Why? What'll happen if they vote against you, Dom?
I don't know. I'll give everyone.
That was so threatening.
Regardless,
I'm scared of you now.
Exactly. Psychology. What will I do? No, I'll give you hugs. I'll give you hugs whether you vote for me or not. You know.
Just like Bray Wyatt does in his matches. See you later.
God, I just listened to this whole podcast. It was terrible. I feel like my ears are gonna bleed.
What'd you say? This is Darby Allen, and you're listening to Gimme a Whole Yeah podcast.